What is up, TubeU? It is the Money Sausage here. Today we are going to be talking about how to budget and be social at the same time while in college or even in high school. Now, the first really important thing to do when you're budgeting is have a source of income. So if you're in college, have a part-time job while you're studying. What's really cool is usually around college campuses, there's jobs that rely on college students. So they're very flexible with their hours. They're very flexible with you. They allow for you to make some money on the side while you're attending classes. And that's a great thing. Now, it may take away from some of your social activities, but to give up a Tuesday or Thursday night when a lot of things aren't happening, it's an amazing resource just to have some source of income. You could also do something if you want to further your resume. Do paid research on campus. It looks really good on your resume, but also you can also be getting paid while you're getting credit for research, courses, and whatnot. There's a lot of programs available. Just make sure you go to your university's website and do some research on what research is available. And it's quite an amazing thing. Now, the second step is to figure out a way to formulate a budget. Now, there's many systems that are used to create a budget. The one that I used when I was first setting up a budget was the envelope method. And that's simple, that whenever I get a paycheck or whenever I get money coming in, I would divide the money to envelopes. I'd have $5 for social spending, $5 for eating out for a week. So I'd put $20 in total for the month, $100 for investing, $100 for car maintenance, $100 for college, and whatnot. That was me just saving up in my high school days while I was saving up to go to college, which was a really good resource. It was simple. It was easy. It kept me really tied down to my budget because once I was out of money with that envelope, I couldn't spend anymore. I had no more money. So using that cash method it helped keep me really accountable to the budget, because once I was out of that money, I couldn't spend anymore. And that was an amazing thing. Now, as time goes on, having those envelopes can be a really big hindrance. So it can take away this drive to budget. So in order to combat that, I moved to mobile apps. And there's a lot of mobile apps options. There's a lot of things, depending on what phone you have or what you use for your mobile device. There's a lot of options on that certain app store. Now, the one that I used for my iPhone was called Good Budget. It was a great introduction to mobile apps and budgeting on an app. It was amazing. I really enjoyed it, but the way it works is put how much you make a month, and then you divide it up into percentages of what you want, however much you make that month, to go into those envelopes. So it's just a mobile version of the envelope method, but at the same time, you're not restricted to cash. You can use credit cards, debit cards, or whatever. Now, the good thing about that is, one, it's mobile. You can take it anywhere. Once you get a receipt, you can plug it in the exact amount. You don't have to rely on keeping track of the cents and all that stuff. You just rely on the credit cards, the debit cards, and even cash. So that's a really good thing because it is mobile. But at the same time, it does allow for you to go in the negative. So it doesn't keep you accountable to the same fact that once you're out of that money in the envelope, you can overspend. And my first semester at college, I realized that I completely misguided my budget. I was spending more in some categories than I expected, and I was spending a lot less in others. So you have to be flexible with your budget. You need to adjust as your life and you become more settled, because college is going to be a roller coaster. There's going to be things at the beginning of the semester you're having to put a lot of money towards books, a lot of money towards housing and room and board. But then as the semester goes on, you're not spending much on the substantial educational stuff, such as room and board, books. But you're more spending on social event and furthering assets that will help with your education but aren't required. So like Grammarly or whatever you may have. But your spending habits change as you develop and go through college. So you need to be able to be flexible. And that's why the mobile app is amazing, because you can be flexible. But at the same time, that flexibility, if you're not accountable, it can bite you in the butt. And I've watched many people have that happen to them. They're set in stone. I'm going to spend this much. This is all I'm spending. And that's what they want to stick to. But they get lazy. They don't hold themselves accountable, and they just go wild. They spend all their money. They rack up credit card debt. They spend all their money in their bank account. They're also on loans for college. So it's just a terrible financial situation. So the big thing about budgeting is you need to hold yourself accountable, and you need to have a way to easily do that. So apps, envelopes are great. Now, another mobile app that I've discovered, it's not sponsored, it's not paid for, but something that I discovered as I was going through setting up my business and just really kind of trying to lock down my financial independence and setting myself up for success in the future. It's called Mint. No, not that, not the plant. Mint Mobile. No, that's not it either. But hey, look at Ryan Reynolds. He's really cute. No, it's Mint Mobile by Intuit. It's not called Mint Mobile, but they have a mobile app available on the App Store, Android Store. And it's really nice because it works with Intuit itself, so TurboTax. So it works flawlessly with when you're doing your taxes. It tells you when you need to do it. And it gives you everything you need to get your finances in order. So you can connect to your bank account, you can connect to your cards, you can connect to your investment accounts and all of that stuff. And it'll keep track of not only your budget, but it'll also keep track of your net worth. So if something happens, like you'll be notified of a charge. So if something fraudulent happens, let's say someone takes your credit card number and they charge your card, Mint will send you a notification. Even if it's you doing it, they'll send you a notification like, hey, there was a charge on your account for this amount. And it'll report it automatically, and all you have to do is just put it into the file. So it works like Good Budget with the envelopes and all that stuff, but it does a real-time tracking, so it keeps you accountable, but also keeps you really informed on how your financial health is doing. So it's something I really recommend. I love it because with the business and also just with my odd income situation, which is just a lot of side hustles and a lot of stuff like that, I have a lot of income streams and a lot of outflow streams, which requires a lot of tedious work to manage. But Mint, since it works with TurboTax and it works as a budgeting app, it keeps track of everything for me, and it's a really great system. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to go check it out. I'm not being paid to say this, but I really enjoy the app, and I really love everything that it has to offer because it makes it so easy, and it makes it easy and great at just being able to check in on how I'm doing financially. Now, a mock budget that you can stick to that I really enjoy is you save 5%, you spend 25%, you invest 30%, and you put 40% in an emergency fund. Now, emergency is super important because in college, things aren't always stable. You're not guaranteed to have a job. You're not guaranteed to have things to be completely stable. Things will come up and things you have to take care of. You may get a parking ticket. You may have to go and deal with something with the university. And that stuff can be timely and can be expensive and take off your time from work. So having a backfall of savings and emergency funds is really important, especially in college, but throughout the rest of life. I recommend building an emergency fund of up to a year of spending just to make sure that everything is covered. Usually people recommend 6 months, but my goal and the goal that I've reached is a year. And that has helped me out a lot because if medical expenses come out and something happens, then I have that money to fall back on no matter what happens. So that's what's really nice. Now, after you get to the emergency fund, you can play with all the numbers. You can play with the numbers that I suggested. I'll put it down in the bio so you can see what I'm talking about. But after you get to the emergency fund, I started moving to saving 25%, spending 30%, investing 30%, and just having a miscellaneous of 15%. Now, a lot of that miscellaneous, usually at the end of the month when I have a surplus, I just put it into investments because I'm trying to grow my portfolio and I'm trying to grow my business and stuff like that. So that miscellaneous fund is kind of just there for if I need some money for my business, if I need something just as an emergency, but I do not touch my emergency fund. So my emergency fund I'm utilizing it now as if something happens, I lose my job, I'll live off that until I find a new job. So that's kind of what the emergency fund is used for now. Now, how can you be social? I know that's what y'all are really interested in, how to stick to a budget, but also stay social. A lot of college campuses have a lot of great organizations on campus, and they're free to join. It's part of your tuition. So go out and research, go figure out what you're doing. And if you're in high school, I highly recommend, there's a lot of clubs and things you can do. Just go around and go test out the water in each of the clubs and see what you like. I tried out robotics, found out I really enjoyed building stuff. And I kind of focused on doing stuff like that for the rest of high school. And then when I got to college, I kind of understood what kind of group I wanted to be in, what kind of clubs I wanted to pursue. And I got really into finance in high school. I got really into creating businesses. So I got involved with that club. I got involved with multiple things in high school that helped set me up to pursue social activities in college. Now, what's really cool about that is in university, at college, a lot of the on-campus orgs don't cost money. So it doesn't require you to spend much. Now, they will have off-campus events to where you're having to spend money at ice cream or whatnot. So you do need to have money set aside for that, and that's what's in your spending budget, and that's why you have that set aside. Now, if you want to go into off-campus org, like a certain honors program that's a Greek letter or something like that, that usually does cost money to join. It can be a little expensive. It can range from $250 to $2,000 per semester. Now, if you are on scholarship, sometimes that off-campus stuff can be helped by the scholarship, but not always. And usually off-campus orgs do have scholarships that you can apply for, so they can help you out with that, but at the same time, they're more expensive. Now, do I recommend going to the off-campus organizations? Yes, I do, because it allows for you to network in a very specific niche. If you do on-campus organizations for the lesser money, your sophomore year, you'll have a very good grasp of who you want to hang out with, who you want to network with, and who you want to pursue and who you want to have relationships with. And so off-campus organizations are very tied to the niches. So if you want to be in a organization for coffee connoisseurs, that usually can be off-campus. You may not have to pay anything. You just have to go to coffee shops and hang out with everyone. But it's a great way to network. So that's what I would recommend is if you know what kind of niche you want to go to organizations and go to fairs and stuff like that on campus that allows for you to see what organizations are offered and what kind of groups you want to be part of. Because that's what's really important about college is not only setting yourself up for a great career in the future, getting your degree, and pursuing a lot of things, it's building the network. Now, I know when you're in high school, so this is going to the high schoolers or freshmen in college, everyone talks about network. Everyone talks about how college is great for building a network. What does that mean? Networking is basically just building friendships. Just saying like, hey, I think you're really cool. Let's get each other's numbers and let's hang out and let's talk. That's all networking is. It sounds really fancy. It's really cool. Everyone plasters it all over their website. But it's just having friendships. If you want to network and you're very closed off and you don't like hanging out with a lot of people, there's a lot of people that are also like that. And they have clubs, they have groups, they have Discord, they have a lot of things offered through that. Now, another great way to network is to join a GroupMe, join a Discord for your classes, and just kind of test out the waters. See if someone clicks with you for humor and if someone you resonate with. Now, that's what's really cool about college is you have such a mixing and melting pot of people. So it's a great time to set yourself up for future success, but at the same time to network. And to be in college, it does require a lot of financial restraint, but at the same time, you can still experience that while living on a budget and keeping yourself honest and humble. And that's what's really cool, and that's what I'm realizing. My freshman year of college, I was a train wreck. I was nervous. I was scared. I was like, oh my goodness. I had these jobs and these side hustles going for me, but at the same time, I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to join some organizations, and I don't know what expenses are going to come. But at the same time, I relied on those organizations that I was joining, and I just was like, hey, what's your thoughts? I'd go to the seniors, the juniors, and just sit down and have coffee with them and talk to them. Just be like, hey, this is the situation I'm going through. What do you recommend? And they usually have some really great resources that they could offer me. For instance, like I didn't know that there's some websites that offer free PDFs of certain textbooks. And I was about to drop $150 to $250 on chemistry textbooks and stuff like that when there was a free PDF of the same exact textbook on a completely legal website. And all I had to do was ask someone about it. And there's also, through the university that I go to, there's some really cool resources on the website that I frankly didn't know about. And just talking through people, being social, building that network, I realized that there's some really great free opportunities to continue to build that education and pursue stuff for a lot cheaper. So sometimes you just got to be handy and creative with what's going on in front of you. And just reach out and don't be afraid to ask, because you have to realize everyone in college, or everyone that's leaving high school and going into college, they all are in the same boat you are. You're not alone. It's a great time to just reach out and just build a community. So that's what I encourage you, is stick to that budget. If you go out, just limit how much you're spending. Stay accountable to what your budget is. Find an easy way to keep track of your money. So Mint, good budget, envelopes. Now, I wouldn't recommend envelopes if you're going out and you're getting coffee, because they're quite clunky. So that's when I really recommend moving to mobile apps. And that's exactly what I did my freshman year. I made that transition from envelopes to mobile apps because I wanted to be more social and I wanted to be able to track things quicker. So that's what I recommend. I hope y'all really enjoyed this video. If you did find it helpful and did find something insightful, please leave a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified for the future videos coming up in the series, The College Guide to Finance. And there is a playlist on the channel. Check down the link in the description if you want to start your investment journey. I have a previous video recorded. It's the first video on this channel. I'll have it linked in the description below as well. And if you want to get a stock worth up to $1,000, hit that referral link to public.com. And it is a great way. And follow me, the Money Sausage, on Public, and you'll be able to see what my portfolio looks like. I'll be happy to see you there. With that being said, it's Money Sausage signing out.